Okay. I think we're live. Okay.
So, should I share in Facebook as well on my own page?
Yeah, sure.
No, then they're joining our room. This is not what we want. So
share your screen, probably.
I don't see the option. Cannot do that.
Maybe like go on like a CGAM page and then click share the live itself.
Let's try doing that. So I'm going in Facebook. Yeah, here we are. Well done. I think we're on live.
I think we are good.
Do you see me?
No, yet.
No, that's a strange reason why you can't see me.
Because
so it's two of you.
You have to come back, I think. Yep, you're back.
I'm back.
Yep.
Super. We did it.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Everything is good?
Yes, we can start.
Okay. So hello everyone. Thank you for everyone for turning up. It's the 6th EdTalk presented to you by SIGAM. This is an educational talk, or what we call a EdTalk. This talk aims to leverage your education, presenting to you with story of individual. In this case, it's Miss Julija. Today we have a special guest, so it's Miss Julija. She is an academically flourishing individual with multiple degrees and professions. She has a bachelor degrees in management and 3 master degrees from the University of Latvia. She also currently pursuing a professional degrees and also a PhD as well. At the same time, she is a marketing strategist, consumption anthropology, and neuroscience PhD researcher with in-house experience working with many international brands, for example, Samsung, Mars. She is also a leader of a social startup mentor, marketing training, workshop facilitator, and a lecturer at a multiple university worldwide. Our discussion today is divided into 4 sessions. So the first one with Julija, we're gonna talk over with the academic journey. Second, we're gonna talk about study abroad experience. The third one would be current profession. And the last but not least is future prospect in career and education. So good evening from Bangkok, Julija. You're in Spain, so I believe it's the lunchtime, so afternoon.
Exactly. Happy to connect from sunny Mallorca Island. So it's middle of the day, and we're happy to travel during COVID to such faraway places as Thailand.
So many people would like to know you for sure. Can you just briefly introduce yourself?
Well, you just told it all. I don't know how you could remember all that. I couldn't. So basically, as you can see, I'm the person who really likes studying. So I'm a constant learner, and I continued also my academic path, becoming a teacher as well. And my true belief is that if you're teaching something, you really need to fill in the shoes of the student. So that is why I'm learning myself now as well. So I don't know, I've been trying to balance my academic part of life with with the daily routines, being mother of two, and also, of course, building my career. And I really believe that education was something which really, really helped me in the very beginning of my career path, and still it really contributes. So I'm so passionate to share anything I can.
So thank you very much for your brief introduction. Let's move on to like our first session, like academic journey. The first question would be like you have like so many master and then like one bachelor and like professional certificate and PhD. What encouraged you to do like all of this?
I don't know, the passion for learning, this is one thing. And also I started my path with actually finance. I was thinking that, you know, you can calculate all things in the world, especially in business. You need to be very acquainted with numbers. And then I understood that, you know, that's not enough. So I need to have some human touch. And this is what led me to getting an MBA, because this is more about managing people, organizations. So it's a little bit more closer to people. But then I understood, you know, this is still not enough. You know, these sciences, they propose a certain view on things, but I wanted to see things like, you know, 360 degrees. So the path led me to social culture and anthropology. And as you know, this is a fantastic eye-opening science, which is actually about people, societies, cultures, subcultures. So to understand the core motivations, the values of people. And this was already very human-centric. So now I ended up actually being in the neurosciences, just starting my path there, because I understood, okay, we are people, but we're also embodied. So we have our bodies, we have our hormones, we have our brain structures, neurons, which actually affect our behaviors. So I want to have this neuropsychological view on things as well. So always it was not enough, you know, I was seeking for some answers for my work, for my life, from different sciences. So this is how I built my own path. So it's very cross-discipline, that's very multifunctional. I also tried to build my career, you know, going from one industry to another. So I was working in import and export with international trade. Then I moved to the world of beauty in a French company, L'Oreal. That was an amazing start of the career, you know, the dream of every girl. Then I just, you know, for a change and further development, I moved to, let me remember, that was years ago. I moved most probably to Mars Incorporated, which is already different story, because that's leading American company with a lot of FMCG brands, chocolate, pet care, like Mars, Snickers, M&M's, Pedigree, Whiskas, and so on. And that was indeed the best place to work and to learn and to develop. But after some years there, I also felt like I want to see, you know, the bigger world, the other departments of consumption. So this is where I ended up being in electronic industry, a Korean company, Samsung. And this is where my corporate life, I would say, ended up because, you know, then I started to work as a strategist in advertising agencies, as a freelance external marketing director. This is where I started teaching, and so on and so on. So it was always, you know, being curious in people, being curious in the way they consume things, they live, the way they dream, the way they are afraid of things, and it leads to certain decisions. So I never ever had an education in psychology. However, one of my bosses in advertising agency actually called me a marketing psychologist. So I consider getting a psychologist education, actually. So there's still some time to go until the pension. So yeah, just you know, getting curious, and always in my career that somehow supported me. It gave some extra knowledge, you know, extra insights, which helped me to a little bit be different, stand out with my point of view, you know, a little bit disrupt. Because, for example, in the marketing world, when you come up with social anthropological point of view, nowadays it's not as provocative, because American companies, they even employ to marketing departments and to companies anthropologists, they do. But years ago it was something absolutely fresh, interesting, and in marketing you need to disrupt, you need to do things in a little bit different way. So yeah, I just love education. That's it.
Okay. And then like from like a first degree to like the second degree and the third degree and like later on, how do you manage it? How do you plan your step by step?
I would say it's more an agile way of doing things. So rather than, planning a step-by-step academic path, I was living until a certain phase of life where I had some jobs to be done. I had some things I need to tackle. And then I was searching the science, the department, courses, university degrees that could help me. So now, for example, I feel like a course in psychology would benefit me. Yeah, but I couldn't have discovered that without, applying all this into practice. So it's more based on what you do and which challenges you have, and then you understand this could be something which could help me. And indeed, when I was studying finance, I was working with numbers, and I remember being passionate about statistics and all the KPIs and things like that. And it really contributed on my even first work, which is my favorite work and my favorite boss, which was the starting point of all. So yeah, some based on demand of what you need currently.
And back then, like, have you heard or realized about like the double degree programs? Back then, like during your master, one of your master.
Yeah, double degree programs, they are really amazing. They give you extra opportunities. And I think the one I made for my MBA, it was in cooperation with German Steinbeis University. And that was the beauty of having professors from another country with different culture, and having some cultural exchange, communicating with other students, doing some projects. Of course, this is, an extra, like a cherry on top of an educational cake. If you can get a double degree, even for your resume, this adds value, and it also broadens your horizon. And amazing that you can build such a great social capital, because I do believe that when you go somewhere to study, you don't only go for knowledge, you really go for people. And I got into the world of advertising agencies thanks to my wonderful boss, the managing director of advertising agency in Latvia, who actually was my fellow classmate in my MBA. And then I can bring you wonderful examples how people afterwards became my friends, my business partners, my clients, my managers. And they all came from where I studied. And I can even, I was thinking before a session that even some of the, best friends, even living abroad, they're the ones I met, when I was doing some language courses in French and German, not to say that these are the like-minded people you can get studying at the university, especially with a double degree. You may get a friend from Thailand or from Germany, from all over the world. So I kindly recommend them. I know that these degrees are they are limited, and most probably they cost an extra, and it's more difficult to get there, but that's an amazing opportunity to use, of course.
Because like nowadays, like CCAM is really focusing on this double degree as well. Thanks to like lots of people interested in like more than like one countries, and this double degree also offer like more cost efficient, like save costs, save times, and expand like your connection, and also like degrees and your experience as well. That is amazing. It's like I totally agree with you.
Wonderful.
Okay, and how did you manage like the academic demand and a curricular involvement? In this term, it's including, as you mentioned, like you study and then you work at the same time too, right?
Always, always. I don't think I
Mhm,
had ever a break. Well, maybe I had some maternity leave,
mhm,
but even during maternity leave, I remember, having my little
mhm,
child breastfeeding and actually defending my master thesis. And then thanks to amazing inclusive companies I was working for, they allowed me, bringing
mhm,
the sleeping kid in a little bed
mhm,
and then
mhm,
working as a strategist or a
mhm,
consultant. So I didn't really have a break because I get so bored when I'm not doing
mhm,
anything. So I need constantly some brain food for life. Um, when I look back at my resume and I read that all, sometimes I don't believe that's me, honestly saying, because I'm getting old and
mhm,
things are becoming more complicated, and we just need to admit it. So my big, I would say, wish to every young starting mind is that while you are 18, 20, 25,
mhm,
work like hell, study a lot, because you have such a neuroplasticity, you have such an amount of energy to do things, to achieve. And this is, doing things which you put in the backpack and then you carry it all your life. So when you're like me, already old and ugly, you can still shine saying you've
mhm.
done so many
Oh,
things,
you're not.
because you really because you really things get more complicated. These are the physical things, these are the family things, the limitations, from daily routines, having kids, and so on, so on. So if you're young, you need to get the double degrees, you need to learn languages, you need to build your career, get internships, do whatever, because that's so much easier. So when I look back at my resume, it was like, is it really me? How could I do it? Because I was only 1 year in my life, not year, I think 1 semester in my life, I was a pure student, being 18 or 19. And then due to some family issues, I had to go to the evening department, and then I started working. So I remember, getting up very early, like 6 o'clock, then working until 5:30, then catching a bus, and then studying until 10.
Mhm,
So, and then going home, doing
mhm,
homeworks, eating a bit, and actually working as a freelance. I was doing
mhm,
translations. I need to admit, I was doing some illegal stuff. I was helping lazy students writing their master or bachelor papers, because I was young, passionate, and I just wanted some cash. So it was like sleeping a couple of hours and then partying like a partying animal. I don't know how could I do that. And then what I learned is that for me, what works is, I would say, three things. The first is multitasking. So whether you are on a bus, on a train, I don't know, waiting for your doctor, whatever you have a free time, this is the time you can do your homework, you can read part of an article, you can write a letter to your teacher, I don't know, you can do some calculations for your work, for your study, for whatever. So I remember breastfeeding my kid at night, and then with one hand writing my master thesis. So one of my master thesis was 90% made by a smartphone, with one hand. And indeed, I remember I had even some pain here because I was over exercising, because there was always one kid here and a telephone here. So one thing is multitasking. Whatever you do, you have 1 minute, 5 minutes, you need to use it as a little contribution, as a little step to whatever you do, even if you have a lot of tasks. It's like, the secret of doing things are doing little tiny whiny steps. That's it. The second one, you really need to equip yourself with technology. So if you're on the run, then of course earpods, big smartphone, where you can do everything: Excel, Word, PowerPoint, whatever, Slack. So the technology is always with you, so you always have it in the pocket. So because bringing the laptop with yourself, finding a place, that doesn't work for me. So doing things on the go, with some technology helping you, and shared clouds where you always have access. You young people, it better than me. And the third one is that when you do things, you need to try to kill your perfectionist. You just need to kill it, shamelessly, because I'm the kind of person who writes the master thesis and pays attention to every detail, and it doesn't work this way. You know, you need to understand where is the balance between, you know, the quality and over quality. So I would say the suggestion would be doing things just the right way, but not overdoing that. That's also, I think, one of the agile principles, if I'm not mistaken. So not striving to do something best, but just doing it. Yeah, that's the Nike slogan, I would say. And also maybe the fourth one would be when you feel like procrastinating, when you feel like being tired, demotivated, like, wow, I have 10 homeworks to do, and then, I don't know, some other chores at home and things for my work, you need to get back to the roots and ask, what's my motivation? Why I'm doing it? For what? You know, it's not just about doing a homework. It's about, you know, getting certain experience, a certain maybe certificate, even a paper, which will further lead me to something where I want to be. So, you know, always getting back to the basics, like, okay, for what am I doing that? And the 5 would be things which you can skip doing, you can skip doing. We're really sometimes overdoing things, thinking, you know, we need to do them, but if we do them, nothing changes. Yeah, so it's also linked to internal perfectionist.
So it's more likely like your secret sauce is like multitasking, implemented it like with technology, and know yourself, like not to like overdo it, and then like try to know that what to do and what not to do. Try to balance it into the middle. It's great. And also like what advice do you have for students who are undecided about the future, like in terms of like a passion, interest, or goal, like they lost somewhere?
Well, the first thing is that to accept that this is perfectly okay if you're 18, 20, even 40, whatever, 85, and it's okay not being sure what you should do in life. That's absolutely okay. And these doubts are for every teenager, every student, a starting soul. We don't know. We just don't know. What we can do, we can try, we can make an effort, and we can see if that works. And even if we fail and we start some education or career where we don't really realize our potential and we don't feel in our shoes, that's okay. That's experience. We can always change for something else, but we can never know. So it's okay not to be sure. And I would say what helps here is, of course, career coaching, life coaching, and also getting some support from specialized companies who know, who work with students, who know people, and who know universities and programs and specific behind. And honestly, just having a talk, because by talking to someone, we already understand ourselves some things. And if these people, they have the experience, they went through it, and they see other people solving that, they can really help. So I think, Matus, your company is doing a fantastic thing. So this is a place in Thailand where you just can come, you can share your doubts, you can share what you like doing, what you hate doing, what kind of person you are, and then Sigam can say, okay, there are 3 options, let's get into that. It's all about discussion with maybe some coaching techniques, maybe even a talk with a psychologist, because the worst thing what happens is when we don't do something which is based on our skills, talents, and our personality, but we try to satisfy either some social expectation or the expectation from parents or friends or somebody else. And then, you know, very quick we'll understand this is not something what I want, but I try to satisfy the expectations from others. But you can understand this if you come to a professional. So talking here, I would say, help. And also, you know, with my PhD, for example, that's not my first priority currently. So, you know, I don't have an objective, you know, getting a PhD as soon as possible. So I'm just enjoying the process, getting into the topic. But, you know, what helps me there is really talking to people who already got their PhD, you know, a direct access. So this means if you have any chance on networking, you know, meeting new people who already have this experience, just talk to them. That's it. That's the easy thing. People are there to help, a lot of people.
like I can relate it to that. Like she can believe in that passion and the interest of the student, and then like we try to assist them to achieving their not just only academic but like the future success as well. So we start from like talking, explore what they want in life, and try to understand them more to try to guide them to their future success, right? And I absolutely agree with you that like it's the key to success is like talk to the people that have like the experience already, or been there and done that already. So we have like expand the network, and then just try to get the right person and the right people to talk with our clients. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Julia, for that. And the second, the section that I want to explore with you, it's about like study abroad experience. So far that I know you, like you have like now like studying in Spain too, right? So what would you feel like the difference between like a study in your home country and like study abroad? What would be the difference, pro and cons?
Well, the practical things, when you get into another country, then most probably you learn an additional language. And nowadays, that's not even, I would say, a benefit, but a must-have for a resume. So learning the language, and of course, this, multinational, multicultural environment. It may be challenging living among people who, incorporate from childhood different values. They speak different language, and we know that, our thinking and the way we see things, this is so impacted by the language, because we think in a certain language, don't we? So this thing, when you even talk in a different language, you feel like a different person. So if I switch to Latvian and Russian, that would be, I would say, a different me. Not to say if I switch to Spanish, I would just grab, sangria wine and stop talking about working, but just enjoying life. So this cultural contribution is amazing. You learn different kinds of people. You learn to communicate with different kinds of people, because if you are having a career aspiration working for a global company, there will be people who come from other cultures and countries and cities and regions and religions and whatever, and you would need to manage this diversity, and you would need to also, I would say, how to say, to be kind of inclusive, to accept that people are different. And this is what you can train already studying abroad. And then when you go to an international office, that's easy peasy for you. Of course, traveling, it satisfies the fundamental human need of exploring, of developing, seeing new things. And this is such a happiness booster. So, and it's also for younger people, of course, this is the school of life, where you are brought to, faraway destination from your usual environment, away from parents. You very quickly learn to be responsible for yourself, to take decisions, to risk. So you become more mature and responsible. So it's all about the personal effectiveness and personal growth, and maybe being more brave sometimes, and so on. So yeah, I really see also, I've studied in English, in Latvian, in Russian, a little bit here in Spanish and Catalan. And, even the environment in the class is different when there are different people and different languages. So it's, like tasting life in its different dimensions. And definitely that affects your neuroplasticity. You build the new neural bridges, you become smarter. And, well, didn't help me too much, but for young people, that's for sure. The brain trainer.
And how did you adapt this diversity? Have you ever experienced like sort of like a culture shock, either like on the campus or like outside of the campus? Like you go to like the new country, you probably have to find somehow to like get along with like professor, like especially like foreign professor or coordinator. What would be like your source of like success, and try to smooth smoothen things
I would
with this kind of
definitely love
philosophy.
somebody to talk to. So I imagine if, for example, Sigam would bring me to another country, and in my first month, I would have you, for example, just having a call, a WhatsApp message, and say, "Hey, I want to share, oh, these Russians, or oh, these Spanish people, or whatever, just having somebody to talk to. That would be amazing." I didn't have one. I'm very introverted myself, so it's quite challenging for me to become part of a social circle, whatever culture is involved. I would say it was not the country or people, but it was more the how to define it, the kind of mindset which I had to adapt. For example, when I joined the world of anthropologists, these are absolutely different people who, fight social cliches, and they think that many things like, I don't know, gender or nationality, it's social constructs. And, when you're out of anthropology, you're born with, thinking that things are the way they are. So, and then you try to share your point of view, and you understand this is absolutely, not in line with the science, not in line with these people, these professors, and also people who had a bachelor degree, so they come prepared. It's not what they think, and that's not what they live. And you feel like, wow, I'm a fish, which, suddenly jumped to another aquarium. So you learn to talk their language and speak their language, even if you don't accept it fully. But, as Shakespeare said, "And all the world is stage, and all the men and women merely players." You need to play a role of an anthropologist. You can think whatever, but you are in this team. And then when I started my professional degree in theology, hopefully I finish it this year. It's already a five-year journey for me, but it's a long professional program. So, and I do this for myself. So it's definitely not because of paper. That's more for spiritual, personal growth. And you come to the world of theology, and oh my God, God from the big letter, of course, because if you write it with a small one, that's absolutely not the rules of the game. So thanks God, I'm a religious person myself, so this really doesn't resonate too much. So this is something I am, but I need to choose the words. I cannot write comments, some tasks with my marketing mindset, because where is marketing and where is spiritual religious studies? So it's not even the culture, but the I would say scientific framework, which is challenging. But wow, this really challenges your thinking, and it helps you to look at different subjects from different perspectives, and then you have a freedom to form your own point of view.
And on top of that, when you study abroad already, like most of the student would aim and hope for like having or like landing a skill internship, or like a further careers on like those country, like whether in US, UK, or Russia, or Spain. Have you experienced that, like once you fly to Spain and then you're just like, okay, like I have to look for a job too, like what I'm gonna do here, because like international work experience would like add its own like your further career for sure. What would be like your recommendation or suggestion for this topic as well?
So I would say that we have so many limitations due to COVID, but we need to learn to find the good things about it. And the good things are that many companies, whether small or big, they now are open for remote positions, for internships as well. So many companies have been doing it for ages, but some were quite stubborn, going only for offline. So for me personally, the labor market became bigger with quite a lot of potential. So, sitting in Mallorca, I can work whatever in the States or in some, Russian city far away. So if there is an opportunity to get some practice, internship, project, whatever, for a company abroad, remotely, you need to use it. But of course, if you have the possibility to travel to another country for a few months or half a year internship, that's a great experience for resume. It also reflects that you're a brave person, you are, you know, ready to develop, to risk, so you're strong. And of course, if this is a company with a big name, that really increases your chances to get into the company you want. So I'm working at a couple of universities, and I see what happens, and they start to cooperate more and more with companies. So there's a lot of opportunities. The only thing that, again, if you want, you know, to save your time, of course, it's better to get some help and support from such companies as SIGAM. So, you know, you don't spend ages, you know, sending your resume to millions of companies, but you come to a place where they actually help you to make the resume, application letter, everything set up in the way that you just send 10 of them or 5 of them, and you get it because it's made in the right way. So you're not doing things in a bulk way, but, you know, send the applications to the places you really want and thought through, and, you know, specific, individualized, personalized for the specific company. This really works. Definitely need to use this opportunity while you're not having the bunch of children in the other room, because now, you know, having family obligations, I would gladly fly to a project in the States, for example, but then I need to bring all my guinea pigs and kids in my big bag with me, and it's quite challenging because they're going to school and they have a cage. So yeah, use every single opportunity which is on your way while you can.
Like during this global pandemic, like we at SCAM like get into like the professional profile, like portfolio enhancement, and help like lots of like our client to land like the new job, or like change the job, switch the job, or get them back to like a competitive job market, let's say. So we see like a lot of like remote, like whether it's intern or like professional jobs. But now like it's a pretty rate market, like super competitive, like nowadays.
Exactly.
But yeah, so in that case, like I believe that like it's really important to like amplify like the positive personality and also the skill, because like they are the really first thing that the employers would look into it. And on top of that, like do you really agree or believe that like all of your education is really enhanced or like increase your the possibility of whatever that you want to do in terms of like the career in the future? Like to summarize on that, it would be like what if like you have only like the bachelor like in economics, and then like and with like three compared with like a 3 master, what would be the difference? Do you think that less is more, or like everything it's more?
Less is more works, more is more works as well. Look, I have got a very interesting feedback on my resume in LinkedIn by recruiters, and I want to share it so that young people don't make my mistake. So if you feel like studying a lot, and you know, this is my hobby. Some people are doing things like playing tennis, I don't know, doing some art. I'm not really into that. I'm just studying instead. That's my hobby, you know, and that's it. I do it in my free time. I do it in the weekends. Of course, most of my homeworks and scientific papers, they were written during the beautiful night, you know, with a lot of stars. And well, it's not the good thing to recommend, because sleep and hydration and water and physical activity is what actually makes your brain work better. But that's the way I am, you know, a student who works and studies in the middle of the night. I'm working on that actually. So, but the recruiter told me that your resume, one of them, or even 2 of them, your resume looks as if you bought all the degrees. It's not possible to have the list of your career achievements, all these, you know, jobs and companies and experience, combined with the list of the grades and diplomas and papers you have. And Matus, believe me, there is a big part of things I'm not putting there, because I participate in different certifications, courses, you know, professional, lots of stuff, languages, personal development stuff like time management, stress management, whatever, emotional intellect. I'm not putting that even, because if I put it, there will be 3 more pages. So I'm hiding that, that's my little secret I did. So they're saying that it looks as if I invested some money into that. So I either made somebody write my bachelor or master degree, or I just brought a lot of money to the dean of the Moscow. No, I didn't study in Moscow State University, but Latvian University, for example. And on top of that, I'm also teaching in various universities, and I'm also actually teaching sometimes at schools. I started to work with young people because I really love doing it, 15, 19-year-olds. It's amazing, but I'm hiding that from resume, so let's consider it's my hobby. So they tell me it looks like fake. So they believe my career path, but they don't believe my academic thing. And I was into 2 ways on tackling that. Either I hide it, or I leave it out, or I leave it as it is. And I left it because I want to find an employer, a company who is like-minded, who is also passionate about education, who really needs an employee the way I am, not just a woman who has 1 degree and, and that's pretty much it. Yes, I'm multitasking. Yes, I'm crazing that, but, I left it the way it is, Moreover, as I told you, I'm a scientific supervisor, and every year I'm helping students in some universities defending their master degrees. And, when you're into that, you do the literature research, as if you write it yourself. So on top of my master's, we can add, I don't know how many, 40 more. So this is what I told to the HR lady who told me, like, it doesn't look real. I say, okay, add this on. So you need to justify it. One more thing is that, okay, they may believe or not, but you need to justify your cross-disciplinary approach. So because if you have, let's say, biology, and then you have, I would say, management, and then you have, I don't know, robot techniques or whatever, like absolutely cross-discipline, very different directions. It seems for a recruiter that you're jumping from one topic to another. You don't have focus. You don't know what you want. You're like seeking yourself, and they don't want this. So in your resume, I would say in your resume and also in your application letter, if you have this thing, you need to justify. So the way I did it in the beginning, that numbers, it was not enough. So I was seeking for some answers. So I went there. Then I had one more answer. I got it there. So you need very briefly to say why. But there is another path. You can also build your educational and also career path strategy, taking one topic and then just growing into that, focusing on it, and, forgetting about other sciences, other areas of life. This is one way to do it. I kind of envy these people who with ages become specialists of one single very niche aspect. But I'm the type of person, I think the way my brain works, that I really like this helicopter view. And I'm a marketing strategist as such. And, to build a strategy, you need to see a total picture. So this is where my different education contributes. But you really need to be accurate on that, because, sometimes things are interpreted in the market in absolutely unexpected way.
I totally agree with that too, because like you should, like, there is no absolute like masterpiece CV, right? You have to alter it through like whatever that occupation or like the position that you're gonna apply to. So totally agree with that. And you can't just take like the HR, every HR lady opinion anyway, because like some people would like that, some people would not like it, but you have to balance like the odd on that anyway. Like I saw like so many of like our clients, like let's say like they send like tens of application and then they get back with like 5 or 6. That is not bad either, right? So it is no like, even like you get it from Harvard or MIT, it's not gonna be like all the yes anyway. Like you always have to get a no, and then you have to accept that anyway. But it's also good, right? Once it's a no, it's more like it's not like good match with you. So this company and you are not that a good match. So
Yes,
you just verify
absolutely.
like your match and the suitable one.
Absolutely. I remember my story. This is also, to encourage students who are maybe not getting what they want just right away, the job or the university, they get the refusal. The first of all, the more no's you get in life, the stronger you are. The first rejection, the first no is so personal and so painful, but you know what they do on the sales trainings? They send you out to the street saying you need to propose some stupid things to 100 or 200 of people. And then when they reject and say no, 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 in a rude way, sometimes very direct, you learn to deal with that. So no is a good training. And I'm a bit fatalist in that, every time some door closes, blah, 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 the new one opens. But this is true. I remember what happened with me with Samsung. I was into a job interview to a company, which actually I really wanted to get in, but they were so far away from Samsung. It was not such a world name. And I went through, like 5 stages. And on the last stage, they refused me. They told they are getting the candidate from internal pool. This is the typical reply. Yeah. So somebody there working in the company. And I remember myself almost crying because I was doing the IQ test and the videos for the company, everything. Yeah. And then just in a week, I got a proposal from Samsung with a salary which was a couple of times bigger than I expected, and with a very nice position and in a fantastic company, and great experience. So, if you're not getting something, it means you need to try something else. There is something better or even different, but I would say even better waiting for you. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't try. When you search for a job on some platforms, you send resume, and then there's a pop-up window saying, congratulations, you have sent like 20 applications. According to our statistics, the more applications you do, the bigger is the chance you're getting a job with us. So it's all about trying, seeking, getting refusal, but carefully, not sending it in bulk, but still trying to personalize, at least, if not a resume, but at least an application letter. This is commonplace. This is a very boring recommendation, but I know this is me being lazy sometimes, thinking, I will send it out just like that. But even one phrase which will make an HR person think that, you made it for him, it can really increase your chances. Just one sentence.
Agree with you. Let's move on like the third session. It's about like your current profession. You are like the marketing strategist. You're like the leader of like social startup mentor. Can you like more like label yourself or brief like what you really do, and how can you manage like this super multitasking jobs, and also on top of that, let's still study how can you manage this?
Well, one thing I can also recommend to young people is not to move to Mallorca Island or any other island similar with that. Or at least if you move, don't really put it bold in your resume where you come from, because recently I've had some interviews for projects I was wishing to join. And when I say hi from Mallorca, the guy told, bye bye, that's the interview is over. Well, that was a joke, but every joke has some truth inside. When they think, when the recruiters see you're living on an island, with a beach, and they think we have coconuts and bananas all over here, they think that you're the lazy kind of person. And this is absolutely true. The atmosphere, the rhythm of the island is so indulging and relaxing. You honestly don't feel like driving career. You are more enjoying the sun and the wind and things. So this positively impact me, because I was and I'm still a workaholic. So this is so healing for my soul. But if you really want to position yourself as a career person, then no go. So what I'm doing, I'm dedicating quite a lot of time to teaching at the universities. So I'm doing courses like international business, agile project management, strategic marketing, consumer behavior in global environment, also as a guest lecturer for some other topics. I do this. I do mentorships. Mentoring nowadays is such a great phenomena. So on top of your education, you can get connection with the people who already had that experience and have a 1 hour talk or a support throughout the month, where on a paid basis you solve practical tasks and you ask questions to a person who knows. So it's like peer-to-peer direct knowledge exchange. This is beautiful economic phenomena that professionals are sharing. And I'm participating in Agile 20 Reflect Festival, which is a global initiatives in February with more than 500 events. And there actually Agile mentors are sharing for free their expertise, their experience. There's a Slack channel where you can get a guru, like a VIP person in Agile, answering your question and connecting. So this is what is a good effect of COVID, that people, they started to support each other, share, so I'm doing that quite a lot. Was mentoring for High School of Economics, some Skolkovo projects as a guest mentor, and also European House of Europe project, which was during the spring for startups and culture. Then I'm doing some consultations as well on a paid basis and also volunteer basis for startups. And I do call myself as external marketing director or a marketing strategist. I have experience joining a project for a month or 2 or 3 months, doing the thing, setting up the strategy, solving things, and then going away, and then just as a support function, continue things like that. So it's kind of on a freelance basis, project based. I haven't been working full time from the morning until the evening for years. So only if I join a project where you need to do something every day. What else I'm doing? Well, I'm helping my mother with her fashion business. We're into sustainable things, and plenty of other things I cannot remember. But this is what I really, really want, to have this work and life balance. Most probably, the kids are growing, so they don't need me as much. I would be happy to join a company more for a full-time basis, because, when you work as a strategist in advertising agencies, it's very fun because you get different briefs and different pitches, and it's a different topic all the time. But anyways, you need to try harder. So if you have a brief for coffee industry, you need to get into, what are the types of coffee, what's the market, the prices. Then you jump to construction industry, then to IT software. That's fun and interesting, but also as a woman, I miss this, stable, full-time job where you have your brand, you grow it, and it's like a child you bring through the market. So maybe one day I would join. And of course, I really miss during the COVID, I miss the times where I could meet the customer in person, or could go to the office, or co-working, because working home really needs so much effort. We have this Zoom fatigue, and we women, we will want to show our shoes, and that's not the case. I cannot show my red heels now here to you. That would be quite weird. So
and
doing things,
understand. And what are your drive or like motivation to keep you really keep going all of this? And also, what were like the most challenging experience, or like the event that like along the path that you walk and grow into this who you are at the moment, like millions of projects that you like manage at the moment, how you overcome this, or like these challenges?
So my first motivation is that I really like spending money. This, that will kill my beautiful story about myself, but I really like spending money, which means I like earning money. And of course, this feeling when you earn something and you can dedicate it to charity, this is what drives me best, really. They think that you can support your parents, or you can, I don't know, support your church or somebody in need. So this is why we have a fashion brand with my mom where we support deaf blind community. So people who cannot hear and see, they need some extra support. This is very practical. This is called extrinsic motivation, but it has an intrinsic part of that as well, because you feel you're a responsible citizen, you contribute. Of course, my children, they are big drivers, because, you know, when I'm into some very interesting project, you know, my eyes are shining, I'm smiling, you know, I'm humorous, I'm fun, I'm positive, I let them do everything, you know, we kiss and hug, and they see happy mother. When I'm bored and stuck and I don't see progress, I'm not satisfied with my results, you know, I become a gloomy way of a person. So I constantly need some drivers. And, you know, I was also thinking that, okay, I can afford to stop doing absolutely everything and just enjoy the island. But when they grow, you know, what will I be doing? And I need to build my future. So I see myself being a very old lady. Now I'm just old, but very, very old. And, you know, being either a university professor or doing, you know, some consulting for somewhere, or no, whatever, but I'm doing something. And the third one is that I think I love people. So I love Humatus, you know this. This is a lifelong love. So every time I talk to my students, or every time I have my employer or colleague in Zoom or WhatsApp video, I feel such a connection. So I really am there for people. I like to listen to them. I like to learn from them. I like to exchange. I like to support. I like to help. So work is people for me. So if there is a company or a team where I don't feel very good, I try to escape as soon as possible, because not any amount of money can pay for that. What else helps? I need to mention this burnout syndrome. Yeah, when you just burn, because nowadays with remote work and for busy students who work and study, this is the issue, and for professional as well. So I'm into that quite often. What helps me is, you know, just sleeping for 24 hours non-stop, like, you know, with switched on gadgets. Absolutely, you know, just waking up to do some things with children, then go to bed, like total silence when you're like really too tired and exhausted. Of course, you know, the boring stuff like walking, because walking is kind of a meditation. Of course, if you don't hold your telephone and you don't have anything in your headphones. Yeah, what else? Raw vegan, that's for sure something which helps me. So from time to time, I'm jumping to a raw vegan diet with plenty of fruits and veggies, because you don't spend so much energy digesting your pizza. So you're just getting the nutritional stuff from food. Food matters, hydration matters. You know, if you don't fix the ABC, then it's very difficult to go into, you know, personal efficiency, sophisticated tools. And then, of course, I'm a religious person. I try to do everything praying, you know, asking God to help me doing things, not to do any harm, and to help as much as I can and contribute. That's for sure my way. And of course, my family is a big support. You know, when you're tired and the project is going to the right direction, everything is bad, then you have your daughters coming, hugging you, and then you feel like, okay, I will do it.
Big support indeed. Let's move to like the last session, the future and prospect in career and education, in which like you already like mentioned in few of them, right? Like about like the future education that you think that, okay, like the double degree and save time and like shift it to the online, that there would be like such a case. And then the career path as well, that you think like the Zoom syndromes and like the burnout that you already like named few of them. But what do you think like this after the global pandemic, what do you think that the technology would still play the big role after this, or people would be so tired of the Zoom already, or do you think that people still count on it? What do you see the trend in both like education and the career path as well?
I started teaching online like 5, I think, years before COVID. And universities in the beginning, they were quite, skeptical. So, but they, they didn't have a choice. I couldn't fly from Mallorca, because it doesn't pay off, and, it's too much time. So we started doing that, and they received very good feedback from students, and I received very good feedback saying that, hey, it's very nice when you have at least 1-2 days during the week when you don't need to go from your home or work anywhere to the university hall, and you just can do it wherever you want, in a cozy cafe or at home. That they really appreciate it. And this is what scientifically nowadays is called a blended model. So that's the blend of offline and online classes, like a good balanced mix where you still have the possibility to socialize, to get into some physical place, but you also have some things happening online which saves time, saves energy, and makes your life more flexible so you can connect from any place. So I'm participating constantly in some conferences dedicated to the future of education. So blended education is something which will be demanded. After the COVID, I would say, of course, we will have the boom of live lectures where people would be bringing real coffee, feeling the smell, hugging each other, kissing, putting the mask away. Of course, because we get hungry, and actually people, they are absolutely social human beings, so they need the real interaction, feeling each other energy. And the Zoom fatigue is absolutely justified by neurosciences, because when Matos, I'm talking to you now, my brain is freaked out trying to construct the reality, like, are you real? Or maybe you're not real. Are you here? And if you don't have a video conference and you just have a voice, a teleconference, then your brain tries to imagine how you look, where you are, what type of person. And it's, it's a double work or triple 100 work for the brain. And in real life, it's different. So yes, online education, which only offers online without any offline sessions, at least a couple of times a year, I don't think it would contribute. So online schools should think, okay, we're building a community. How can we unite at least once a year or on regular basis? Because people need real people, that's for sure. I think there were also articles talking about the social social diversity, saying that people with a higher financial possibilities, they will be able to have live sessions, and people who will be limited economically, their life will become more and more digitalized. So it's kind of maybe the live interaction would become the thing for privileged societies, but we need to do best to avoid it, actually, to make it available for everybody. So yeah, blended works very well. So the mix of technology and old, good, boring communication, which is actually not boring, but cool. Yeah, so yeah. But what it is, I don't know what it is. I already forgot what it is. Real human interaction. Come on. Long time ago.
Sure. What piece of advice would you leave for the student that want to be like successful in both like education and career path? In particular, with like we see nowadays, like people like kick off, be entrepreneur, kick off as a startup, want to build a company to be unicorn. What would be like a piece of advice would you leave for them as a final thought?
So yeah, not setting the target of being successful, but setting the target of being happy, because these are two absolutely different notions, I would say. And always challenging yourself and asking, okay, I'm doing this project, I'm doing this startup, I'm raising this unicorn. Is it something which makes me happy? If not, then jump to something else. Life is too short, as they say. We'll live only once, as they say. So turning happiness as the priority rather than the classical understanding of success. If I ask myself, do I regret spending my time and resources on any education, I would say yes, but this is not a higher education, but different online courses, which actually ended up to be crap, especially the ones on personal development. So you need to be very conscious on where you go study. And there are discussions that higher education will die. It will extinct, because as I told you, there are mentors, peer-to-peer, and so on, expert practitioners, and some say that higher education is too theoretical, we don't need it. But hey, I see universities really making it practical, and university is just this sign of quality, is that the professors, lecturers, they handpicked, they work years, they have this certain way on filter people who teach there. And of course, sometimes it can be that a bad professor can pop up, but he will not survive more than one course, because there's a big competition actually there as well. So higher education is less risk-free, that you will be fooled. And I really invested, not a lot, but some money into online, and that was quite toxic and not very professional. Of course, you can learn from anything, yeah, but we are so limited in time and energy that we have to be conscious. So I don't regret any career thing actually in life. I'm very happy that I stepped out from full-time job at a certain point of time, because I could afford it. So yeah, just be happy. That's it. That's my recommendation.
Really good recommendation. True. At the end of the day, you have to be happy and be healthy. Thank you so much, Julija, for your time and consideration, and for sharing really valuable experience and story with us. I believe that the audience have learned a great deal from your passion in marketing, management, teaching, charity, throughout your whole life journey, wherever you are and wherever that you will be next. The last part of this EdTalk will be a Q&A session for the audience. Please feel free to talk or ask or any question, both of us. Please keep in mind that your question are available to all participants. So feel free to just drop the comment or something.
And Sigam, if I ever decide to get my another degree in psychology, you will be my next point to get me into some Harvard University or Oxford, okay?
Sure, deal.
Or you have some age limit?
No.
How inclusive are you guys?
No, we even help for the PhD as well. So
wow.
if you decide to go for another PhD, so let me know.
Now I know where to turn up. So we have no questions, right? I don't know how to see comments here. So.
Okay, I can read. The first question would be, do you think grades matter in university? Do you think
the grade?
The grade.
The grades you get. Well, I would say it matters, because if you're getting a degree and then even after 10 years, suddenly you decide to go to some other university, this is where they pay attention to the grades you had. And this is what, even somewhere when I applied, they asked me for my school report with the grades. But I had a lot of bachelors and masters, but they asked for it, they took it into account. And it was years ago. And this is where I said myself, you need to do some effort to have good grades, because you never know where you will need them, but not being too obsessed with that. Yeah, as I told you, because if you really want just 10 out of 10 everywhere, then you don't have time to do some other things in life. So you have to find the balance. And if you of course are getting some sponsorship, you're into some contest for some grant, this is where grades really matter. So here it's important to build relationship with a professor, and also very honestly and directly say, I'm really into having a good grade. What can I do to get an extra, to get 10 out of 10? I'm teaching, and I have some students, addressing this to me in the beginning of the course. So I support them to really contribute and to have this grade. So, well, yeah, I don't think it's very, it's very representative, because sometimes employers, they do ask you to bring a certificate. For example, Mars Incorporated, once you get a PhD, they increase your salary by 5 or 10%. So they would ask for some paper for that. And if you have some low grades, maybe for your prestige and status, that's not very good. But if it's something average and then some good marks, you need to take the priorities, because out of all the courses, for example, I would say for me, what would matter that I have 10 out of 10 in business and management, right? Because, you know, this is what I do for life. But maybe if there is a subject on whatever methods in research, I'm okay with something average.
But what if like one of the clients, or like one student, or like one of your many student have like not that a good grade, but they tend to go to a good university. Is that like all the dead end, like no, like impossible to go?
Well, first of all, grades, they don't mean anything. They mean how you can express yourself, how can you agree with the teacher, did you have time and motivation to work. They don't absolutely reflect how professional, how intellectual you are. That's absolutely also, even with the system of grading, we professors, we still are sometimes subjective, that's for sure. So I know people with very low grades who really achieved a lot of things in life, which means they have a good emotional intellect and IQ. So so if you even have low grades, you need to try harder. Then you have to make a very good application letter. You need to make a good resume, and maybe even justify that, hey, I have this and this grades because I have made it with an intent. I dedicated just a part of my life there because I was working on this and that. Just to be very, actually, there are even, I think, a few books published that one of the weapons of the society now we have, this is our honesty. Because now anthropologists are also researching that everything is fake news, fake filters in Facebook, in Instagram, you know, and our brains, they are like shocked understanding what is real and what is not real. So when we are honest and open, this is the biggest weapon we have, in a good understanding of the weapon. Yeah. So honestly, yeah, telling it on the interview, writing in an application letter, I think that would be one of the strategies.
Yeah, totally agree with you. Like Sigam also has like few clients that have like not that get a super good grade, but just be honest and explain and work so hard on like other elements, and then present it like why you have a good like not that nice grade. It's because like you work like extra hours, you have like family drama or something like that. Just be honest, like just explain that.
Yeah,
not an excuse, but you have to be able to explain like the truth.
It was my conscious decision. It was my conscious decision to get the knowledge I want, not, you know, overperforming because I was working and I had some other priorities. So I was objective, and this was my objective to get. That's it. Yeah, something.
Like for example, you have a bad grade in mathematics or like science and so on, but your result on like a GMAT or GRE like prove it like, oh, actually like it, like you bring it up like a lot on your like GMAT and GRE, that can say something too, right? Then you can explain like why you have such a bad grade during that time, what's happened in your life. So that is a way out. So, like honesty that you recommend, I highly like recommend that too, and then totally agree with you. So sort of the second question, do you think a work experience is more important than academic success, or vice versa?
For employers, this is what they say, like we need practitioners. We don't need people with just theory, the ones who can just talk about things. However, I would say that a good balance where you justify what you do with some theories, with some scientific articles, researches, this is what would contribute. They say that, you know, we need doers, we need practical people, but I think also a lot of job needs to be done with recruiters, with some of them saying that actually if a person really made it until the end, you know, he got his diploma, he got through all the different challenges being young. This is actually the proof that it's a goal-oriented, action-oriented person, organized, responsible, you know. He is a doer, actually, you know, he is. Now I see, we didn't discuss that, but there is a big global trend for young generation saying that we don't need higher education. We want to be bloggers. We want to be startuppers. We don't need it. This is one of the ways, why not? But I would say that higher education really is all about discipline. And discipline in achievement in life matters a lot. You know, I know people who are very successful and they have such a high personal discipline, which personally I'm struggling with this. I'm a person chaos, you know. I don't know actually how I made it until today, because it's all like that. So I envy people. But this is, I think, where education also helped me, because it always has a structure, it has deadlines, it has some frameworks. Even when you do a document with a specific font, which is killing for my brain, you know, I don't have this creativity space. But you know, it really is like, you know, we need to train muscles in the gym, and this is how we train our personalities and brains when we go to universities. So there are different recruiters. But I would say, look, many corporations nowadays go to universities. And Matus, I think you know the case. There was one amazing lady in the class in university, Moscow Lomonosov Business School, and we had a guest from L'Oreal, the HR people, who gave a workshop. And then this girl, she participated in the workshop. She showed herself as being very, you know, very, you know, having a potential. She expressed herself. She was headhunted, and right away in 1 week she got a L'Oreal job. So what I'm saying is that still many big corporations and companies, they understand that universities, they accumulate certain type of people who are goal-oriented, blah blah blah, all these things, the potential, and this is where they take them. Yeah, so of course you can also fish potential employees out of universities, but still university is kind of a good filter for people. For me, people who strive for higher education, they're still different. But this is absolutely not to disrespect people who go their own way. We know amazing, talented, genius people who didn't need to study just because they are born with a certain talent. Of course, if you are this type of person, yeah, you're, I don't know, born programmer and you don't need to study because you can actually teach others. Of course, maybe you don't need that because you're such a practitioner.
Okay. Thank you for your answer. I think it's really great. Moving to like the next question from one of the audience. So the question would be, the audience, this, I think it's like the lady gonna graduate like pretty soon, and then she quite lost at the moment, and then she doesn't know what to do next, like whether take a gap year or like go to work, try more intern, or just get straight to like for the higher education, like pursue the master degrees. That would be how can we help this lady to make a decision?
I see some examples from my friends, the ones who take a gap. It's so challenging to be back into that. You get used to an easy life without, you know, crazy deadlines, doing homeworks. So I can say that it's better to do nonstop. But look at the master degrees. They are now built especially for working professionals. So now I'm teaching, for example, that's actually crazy. Now I'm teaching one at Latvian University, and they have classes from 6 o'clock Friday night with me for 3 hours until 9. And then the next day on Saturday, we start at 9 o'clock and it's 5-hour session. That's exhausting for the teacher and students. So I try to entertain them as much as I can. But look, they work the whole week, and they dedicate Friday and Saturday for their studies. And of course, they do some homeworks and projects, most probably during the night, in the evenings, on a Sunday day. But this is the perfect way to combine, because I know that in some countries, it's more common, to study in a quality way and then start working. In such societies, I'm coming from, Russia, post-Soviet countries, we didn't have the luxury of that, because we need to pay for our own university, or we need to take a credit and then pay for that ourselves. So we were always working and studying simultaneously. So I see that now everything is more quick, and also countries which used to implement the first, slow mode, they also start to be in the tempo. So more and more people start to combine this. I see international students. So my suggestion from my personal point of view is to get a master's degree and then also find a job. If you cannot find a job right away, it can be an internship, because during the internship you can show yourself. And actually internships, they are done for what? They are done just for the sake of employee branding, and also actually fishing the bright minds, checking them in action, and then bringing them into the company. So that would be, but of course, it's not for granted. This is my way. So doing things fast, and then you will, when you're done, you will enjoy it.
And I think that is the last question. The lady asks you, Sangeeta asks you, you mentioned about like sending multiple applications to the same company. What about ghosting by recruiter itself?
This is one of the ways. Biggest corporations, they don't have time for that, so they outsource it to an HR agency. This is one of the ways. You can also send multiple applications to HR agencies. This is one of the ways. However, I can see that most probably this is due to cost optimization and shorter way to the market. Corporations, they start more and more to have their own portals with testing set. So they are trying to get more directly to the employees, the potential ones. So, but yes, HR agencies, of course, they still are a big part of the market. This is one of the ways to get, and I try to remember, I think exactly 2 corporations I got with the help of recruiting agencies. So yeah, that's the way to do. And then they also can test you, and they can help you understanding your career orientation, your talents. They can help you to understand what are the industries and companies which match your profile, your personality. So yeah, definitely use this opportunity. That's for sure.
Okay, I think like it's we come to the end already. So thank you very much, like Julia.
Thank you so much.
I see you next time really soon. Hopefully,
yeah, when you
when it's open.
Oxford. Yeah, when you recruit
Sure.
me to Oxford or Harvard, you choose any. I trust your choice. You're a professional in that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you too. Bye. Thank you.